Growing up in Australia is really awesome. It's an amazing place to live. The weather is awesome. This really heavy culture driven by sport and competition, which eventually helped me later on in life when I came into gaming and esports more specifically. Gaming for me started a very long time ago, probably when I was like 5 or 6. Picked up a PlayStation 1 original, and my very first game was Crash Bandicoot, and that led on to my first ever racing game, which was Crash Team Racing. So I've always been a motorsport fan, much longer than what I've been an F1 fan. I remember when I was just a little boy, probably younger than 10 or something, going to my first actual race meeting. It was for V8 Supercars, which is a touring car series here in Australia. Seeing the cars fly past at top speed, V8 engines, the sound the sound of being at a track is like nothing it just doesn't compare to TV. The sense of speed and everything like that. It's just the whole package that comes together, which is incredible.
We started gaming with them probably around 6 or 7. We first got a PS1, got them into the gaming that way. I've always loved motor racing. Obviously Ben would watch what I would watch too, and I remember bringing the game home in 2010. When I saw it, I thought, wow, this is next level compared to other things that had come out at the time, and couldn't get the game out of his hands. So I had to hide the game at times so he could get his work done, and still didn't work, but he had he just loved it.
So things started to kick up a gear when I bought the F1 2010 game and started racing with a few mates. And other people within the community. You'll always get those people who like take you out and try and troll you and stuff like that, and eventually you get drawn away from racing in public lobbies. And so I wanted something a bit more, to be challenged a whole lot more, and that's when I signed up to a league. And back then it was called Apex Racing League, and this is where the best people in the world would come together, race each other on a Sunday night. And it was all for fun, like it was all just friendly competition, but when we were competing it was far from friendly. After maybe a year or two, I saw other people making videos on their league races, and then even some people commentating on their league races, and that really inspired me to start doing that myself, and that's how really my YouTube really took off. Getting 1,000 subscribers is a feeling that it's hard to describe. It was pure elation, I suppose. I never really set any huge targets on YouTube, but hitting 4 digits was incredible. It was I don't know, the start of something huge. Even though I didn't know it at the time, it was just a hobby. To see that people actually liked watching my videos and wanting to come back for more was hugely satisfying. So a pivotal series for me was the beginning of career mode. It really took off for F1 2013. So that was the first new game that I did where I was commentating, doing a full-on career mode.
Hello and welcome to today's video, guys. My name is Ben, and today we'll be tackling career mode for the first time.
In that month when I started that career mode series, I was at about 7,000 subscribers. And within a month, I doubled my channel. It was absolutely ridiculous, and from then on, I stuck to career mode, and it was a staple part of my channel. From then until now, I'm still doing it. Going full time on YouTube, that would have been 2014. So the F1 2014 game coming out around October was a real big one for me. I was still studying in uni at the time. Really enjoying YouTube. The previous year it really took off, but not to the degree that it was viable for me to pursue it full time. But then 2014 rolled around, and it was a game changer. From there I was like, this is what I want to do. And so I put uni to the side.
When Ben suggested to me that that was what he was thinking of doing, I questioned where this YouTubing would be going. I thought that he would be able to, I suggested to Ben that he maybe think of doing this in the background, the YouTubing, and continue with his studies because he'd already completed 6 years, and it would seem like he would have wasted those 6 years for nothing if he didn't finish the degrees. If he finished his degrees, he had that behind him if something went wrong, you know, it's something to fall back on. So I suggested to him on a couple of occasions that just need to think about it that way. Even tried to get some other family members, his grandparents, to have a word with him as well. It has turned out to be a real success for him and continues to be. So very proud of what he's done and where he's going. It's taken him across the world. It'll take him further. It's great.
Favorite video? Oh, how can you ask me that? I've made well over 1,000 videos, so it's very hard to pinpoint just one. There is a few that stand out to me. One which I'm sure you know what I'm going to say now is, it was a rainy old race in Malaysia. I was chasing down Mark Webber for the lead in career mode.
I think it might actually be a little bit of a task here to get past Mark Webber.
And it started raining with 3 laps to go.
The rain is actually coming down now, so with 3 laps to go, there's actually rain falling, so that's another element that's going to definitely challenge the both of us.
Didn't think anything of it, kept trying to chase him down, trying to get the gap down as much as I could. It got to a point where it was too wet.
The rain is definitely starting to affect me and my older tyres, and I'm losing the back end like crazy now.
I had to make a very bold choice. It could have potentially cost me a chance of even finishing on the podium at the time. I was running in P2. But if it worked out well, I could win the race. And so I decided to go for the glory. I made a pit stop heading into the last lap of the Grand Prix.
I'm going to come in for a set of intermediates at the end of this lap and see if this gamble pays off, because I really want to go for the win here. If I'm just going to go for it.
56 laps, it was a full 100% length race, so just like real life. Made the pit stop for intermediate tyres. I rejoined P5.
I'm the only one who's going to be on this strategy.
Came out of the pit lane, I was the best part of 20 seconds behind Mark, and with a lap to do, I thought it was over. I thought there was no chance I'm going to win this race. But lo and behold, the conditions got even worse over the course of that last lap. It was a brilliant call to switch to intermediate tyres. I lapped another car, one of the back markers.
You'd have to say that we're going to catch Vettel and, not Vettel, Webber and Massa at a vast rate or not. So this is going to be very interesting. It's the last lap of the race.
Then caught up to the likes of Felipe Massa, got myself back on the podium.
That's Chilton. He's on the intermediate tyres there, and he's made a good strategy call too. But yes, that was Massa. He was getting passed by Chilton there. How do you feel, Felipe Massa? That's just terrible. But anyway, now the focus shifts to now Mark Webber.
And then I had Mark Webber on my sights, heading into the last corner.
Coming into this final corner. He's still a couple of seconds up the road, but if he has poor traction out of this corner, we might be able to catch him.
I got a nice exit out of the last corner. Mark was going slowly up to the line.
He's actually going slowly. Can we actually catch him coming up to the line?
And then it was literally a photo finish.
Oh my god, we've won the race!
I beat him by 100th of a second. It's probably the standout moment of my entire channel from a content perspective. So I joined Veloce in 2018. I saw that they had huge potential. They had a sports division where they were managing, real drivers, and then they decided to take the leap into esports. And I saw that they had, lots of experience, a lot of contacts, and they were giving me the opportunity to branch out my brand even further, get me closer to the world of Formula One, to help me create new and exciting content and just provide opportunities that I wouldn't have been able to, grab myself. And so it's been a really good partnership. So going forward for the future of Veloce Esports and myself, I'd love to, continue to bridge the gap between, esports, virtual competition and real life to try and show that there is, you know, possibilities of, you know, showing that, you know, esports is, you know, the grassroots into potentially, you know, real life racing, to, you know, build greater connections within the sport of F1, to continue to make content around the sport and, you know, challenge myself to do new and exciting content that, you know, I wouldn't have done before. So yeah, just continuing to push myself and expand, you know, what I'm doing right now, and to hopefully, who knows, maybe even get 1 million subscribers one day. And we also have my new merchandise line, which is coming out very, very soon. I've got a hat, which I'm actually wearing. I've got a t-shirt design, and I've also got a hoodie for the colder months of the year. So I'm really excited to branch into the world of merchandise, to see potentially, you know, some of you guys, you know, walking around with it, maybe at a race meeting or any other events that we might be doing over the course of the year. And to just show that extra level of support would be, yeah, really awesome. So it's exciting, and I can't wait to get into it.
As far as assists go, it's safe to say traction control is the one that we all turn off last. And even then, some of the top pro esports drivers who you'd expect to have mastered no assist driving by now get caught out from time to time. It's the assist that you can't really forget about, because the moment that you do, that's when it will jump out the bushes